Chosen one, I want you to listen closely. There are moments in life that don't make sense at the moment. When it feels like your world is collapsing, when you're reeling from a sudden breakup, or when someone you loved deeply is no longer in your life, it's easy to get lost in the pain. It's easy to question everything, to wonder what went wrong, to replay every conversation, every memory, every touch. And I know right now you may be wondering why your relationship ended. You may be asking yourself, why did God allow this? But understand this, chosen one, this is not by accident. This is not random. God is involved in every detail of your life, even the painful ones. If you are hearing these words, it's because you are meant to hear them right now. This message is for you, and you need to understand something profound that will change the way you view the heartache you're going through. God removed your ex, your old lover, not to punish you, not to leave you broken, but to protect you. Yes, protect you. You see, we often get so caught up in the emotions of a breakup, focusing on the loss, the pain, the confusion, that we miss the greater picture. We fail to see that sometimes when things end, it's not a sign that we were not good enough or that we failed in some way. It's a sign of divine intervention. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows things we could never see. He sees behind the veil into the depths of the spiritual realm where battles are fought, where unseen forces lurk, and where your future is being shaped by divine hands. God saw what you couldn't. He saw the dangers that were hidden beneath the surface of your relationship. He saw the spiritual ties, the toxic patterns, and the spiritual warfare that could have crippled your purpose if that person had stayed in your life. And though you may have cried, though you may have begged, though you may have even fought for that relationship, God knew that in order to protect the future He has for you, that person had to be removed. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection. Think about it, chosen one. Have you ever had a feeling deep down that something wasn't right? Perhaps there were moments when you felt uneasy, when things didn't add up, but you kept telling yourself, it's okay, we can work through this, or I just need to give it time. You may have ignored those feelings because your heart wanted to believe in the potential of the relationship. You wanted to hold on to the dream of love, of what could be. But in the spiritual realm, God was whispering to you, this isn't the way. The truth is, sometimes the most loving thing God can do for you is to remove someone from your life, even if it hurts in the moment. It may feel like your heart has been ripped apart. It may feel like you're in the middle of a storm, alone and abandoned. But God in His love was making sure that you would not be swept away by the very thing that would have destroyed you, that person you loved so deeply. They were part of your journey. Yes, but their chapter in your life was coming to an end, and you were about to move on to something greater. There's a divine purpose behind every relationship, both the good and the painful ones. God doesn't waste anything. Every experience, every encounter, every heartbreak, and every joy is used to mold you, to shape you into the person you are meant to be. And sometimes that requires God to step in, take control, and say, enough is enough. He removed that person because He knows your destiny is too valuable to allow anything or anyone to stand in its way. Now, you may be wondering how something so painful can actually be a protection. But chosen one, I want to remind you of something. God sees things that you cannot. While you were looking at the surface, He was seeing the heart. You may have seen someone with potential, someone who could love you the way you wanted to be loved. But God knew what was really going on beneath the surface. He knew the spiritual bond, the ties that were formed, and the danger that existed even when you couldn't see it. Think of it this way. Imagine you're holding a beautiful flower. It looks perfect on the outside. You admire its color, its shape, the fragrance it gives off. But as you examine it closer, you notice something. Beneath the petals, there's a sharp thorn buried deep inside. That thorn is hidden, and as long as you keep holding that flower, you're at risk of getting pricked. The thorn might not hurt right now, but over time it could tear your skin, cause an infection, or even lead to a wound that could prevent you from living fully. God in His wisdom sees the thorn in your relationship. He sees the thing that is hidden from your eyes but could harm you in the long run. So he removes it, not because he doesn't want you to experience beauty, but because he loves you too much to let you be wounded. The same way you might protect your own hand from harm, God steps in and protects you from the thing that, if allowed to stay, would ultimately hurt you. It may be hard to understand this right now, but in time you'll see the wisdom of God's intervention. You'll understand that what felt like a loss was actually a necessary step toward your healing, your growth, and your divine destiny. As much as it may hurt to walk away from someone you loved, there is something much greater that God is preparing for you. And this is the beginning of that journey. This is not just about the relationship you've lost. It's about what God is preparing you for. Your future is too important, your calling too significant for anything or anyone to derail it. God knew that if that person stayed, they would pull you away from your divine path. They might have kept you from walking fully into the life He designed for you, and He couldn't let that happen. So trust the process, chosen one. Even though it's painful, even though you might not understand it now, trust that God's hand is in this. Trust that He is guiding you to a future beyond your imagination. And when you look back, you will thank Him for this divine removal, because it's the very thing that saved you. Your heart might ache today, but in the end, your spirit will thank you for trusting God enough to let go. Chosen one. Let me begin by acknowledging the deep hurt you're feeling right now. If you're watching this, chances are that the pain of losing someone you loved dearly is still raw. It's not easy to let go of a relationship that you invested so much into, a person who was once your world, your companion, your hope for the future. You might be sitting with that empty space right now, wondering if this is the end of something beautiful or the beginning of a new unknown chapter. But hear this truth. God's timing is never wrong. What feels like abandonment is actually divine intervention. It's not punishment, and it's certainly not a sign of rejection. No, chosen one, this is protection. This is God's way of saving you from the very thing that, if left in your life, would have destroyed you. It might not make sense right now, but over time, the healing process will reveal the truth of what God has done for you. The emotional turmoil you are experiencing is completely valid, and it's important to allow yourself to grieve. Breakups are painful, and the void left behind by someone you thought you'd spend your life with can feel unbearable. You may question everything: what went wrong, what you could have done differently, or if you'll ever love again. You may even begin to wonder if you were unworthy of their love, or if something about you was not enough. But I want to assure you, chosen one, that God does not make mistakes. His plan for you is far greater than anything you could have imagined in your relationship. You are being redirected to something far better, even if you can't see it right now. And as painful as it may be, this breakup is part of God's greater plan for your life. God saw things you couldn't see. He saw the toxic patterns, the spiritual battles, and the hidden dangers that were present in that relationship. What you saw as love, God saw as a distraction, a spiritual danger that could have compromised your calling. It may feel cruel in the moment, but just like a skilled surgeon removes a cancerous tumor to save a life, God is removing what was spiritually harmful to your future. You may feel as though you were blindsided by the sudden end of the relationship, or that you didn't have the closure you needed. But understand this, there is a reason for everything. Nothing that happens in your life is without purpose. Even the heartbreak you're feeling now has divine purpose, and God is using it to prepare you for what lies ahead. At this moment, you may feel like your heart is shattered into pieces. But what God is doing is much deeper than you realize. He is using this pain to heal you, to teach you, and to make you stronger. This is not the end of your story. It's a turning point, a catalyst for your growth and transformation. What feels like the most devastating loss today is actually the beginning of something more powerful, more beautiful, and more aligned with your purpose. You may have been tempted to hold on to the relationship out of fear or a desire for comfort. It's easy to justify staying in something that feels familiar, even when it's not healthy. But God knew you were settling for less than what He has planned for you. He knew you were trying to make something work that wasn't meant to last. And He, in His love, intervened. You see, chosen one, when we are deeply connected to someone, there is an exchange of energy, an exchange of spirits. This is why relationships are not just physical or emotional, they are also spiritual. When you form a bond with someone, you are connecting on a deeper level, one that can have long-lasting spiritual effects. If that person is carrying unresolved pain, spiritual baggage, or darkness in their life, that energy can transfer to you. Even if you didn't realize it, the bond you had with your ex was carrying a weight that was weighing down your spirit. Perhaps they were carrying negative patterns, or maybe they were trapped in their own wounds. It's possible that they had unresolved issues or spiritual strongholds that you were unknowingly absorbing. And just like a sponge soaks up water, you chosen one were absorbing all of that pain and spiritual burden. It was slowly eroding your peace, your sense of self, and even your purpose. God saw this. He saw the weight you were carrying, and he knew that if you continued down that path, you would become entangled in someone else's spiritual battles. You are a vessel for God's light, chosen one, and that light was being dimmed by the spiritual darkness that was being transferred from your ex to you. But God, in his mercy and love, intervened. He removed your ex from your life, not because they didn't deserve love, but because you are too valuable to remain attached to something that would hold you back from your divine destiny. The pain of separation may be overwhelming right now, but know this: God is clearing away the clutter from your life, making room for something greater to take root. What feels like abandonment today is actually God's protection. This is not rejection, it's redirection. God is creating space in your life for healing, for clarity, and for the blessings that are coming your way. The peace and joy you long for cannot fully manifest if you remain connected to someone who is not aligned with your purpose. You are destined for greatness, chosen one, and that relationship, no matter how much it hurt to let go, was preventing you from stepping fully into your divine calling. God's love for you is too great to let you remain stuck in a relationship that would have compromised your future. He has plans for you, and those plans require your full attention and focus. You may have believed that you were not worthy of something better, or that you needed that relationship to feel complete. But God is showing you that you are whole, and that the right relationship will never demand that you sacrifice who you are. You are worthy of a love that aligns with God's purpose for your life. You are worthy of a partnership that will build you up, not tear you down. And as difficult as it may be to let go of someone who once held a special place in your heart, know that your future is too precious to risk it by holding on to the wrong person. God knows what's best for you, and he will not allow you to settle for less. The person who was removed from your life was never meant to walk with you into your divine destiny. They were a part of your journey, yes, but not the destination. And while it may hurt now, in the fullness of time, you will look back and thank God for protecting you from a future that would have held you back. God's hand is guiding you even when you can't see it. The heartbreak you're feeling now is part of the process of healing and growth. In time, you will see that the removal of your ex was a necessary step for you to step fully into the future God has for you. You will see that this was not a punishment, but a gift that will eventually reveal itself in the form of peace, purpose, and divine alignment. It's okay to grieve. It's okay to feel the pain of loss, but trust that God is using this moment to align you with something far greater. You don't have to understand the details right now. Chosen one. Just trust the process. Trust that God is guiding your steps even when the path feels unclear. He is leading you toward a future that will make the pain you're feeling now seem small in comparison. So as you move through this season of heartbreak, take comfort in knowing that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life. You are being prepared for something greater. And though it may feel like you've lost everything chosen, remember this truth: what is meant for you can never be taken away. God's protection is never punishment, it's preparation for the abundant life He has planned for you. Chosen one, as you continue to walk through the difficult aftermath of a breakup, I want you to know that your pain is not meaningless. Yes, I understand how much it hurts. Yes, I see the weight you're carrying on your heart right now, and it feels like the ache may never go away. But I need you to hear this very clearly. Your pain is part of God's process. It's not there to destroy you, but to protect you and prepare you for something far greater than you could ever have imagined. There is a divine protection in place for you, chosen one. You may not see it right now, but God has removed someone from your life for a very specific reason. And that reason is to keep you safe from things you couldn't even see, hidden dangers, spiritual traps, and distractions that could have derailed your divine calling. Now you might be thinking, but why did God allow me to invest so much in this relationship if it was just going to end? And I get it. It doesn't make sense. You gave so much of your heart, your energy, and your love to someone who in the end wasn't meant to stay in your life. You may feel like your love was wasted, like all your effort was for nothing. But understand this, nothing is ever wasted in God's kingdom. God doesn't let you walk through any experience that doesn't serve a purpose. Even the relationships that cause you the most pain have been used to shape and refine you into who you are becoming. God's protection is often something we don't fully understand at the moment. You may be thinking that if God loved you, He would have spared you this heartbreak. But here's the truth. God loves you too much to let you stay in a relationship that could keep you from fulfilling your destiny. The pain you feel today is actually part of a bigger plan to protect your future. If you've been chosen for a divine purpose, and I believe you have, then you must understand that the enemy is also aware of the power you carry. As a chosen one, your light is a threat to the kingdom of darkness. You have a purpose that transcends your personal desires and preferences. You have been called to a higher assignment, and the enemy knows that if he can keep you distracted with the wrong people, he can delay your journey toward fulfilling that purpose. You see, there are spiritual forces at work behind the scenes, forces that we can't always see with our natural eyes. When you enter into a relationship, you're not just connecting with someone emotionally, mentally, or physically. You're also linking spirits, whether you realize it or not. And if that person is walking in darkness, or if they carry spiritual baggage that isn't dealt with, those negative spiritual forces can begin to influence your life as well. They can affect your peace, your sense of identity, and even your faith. This is why God has to step in when things aren't aligned. You might have thought the relationship was going well, that everything was fine on the surface. But God sees beyond what we can perceive. He sees the hidden spiritual dangers. He hears the things that were never spoken. He sees the battles that were being fought in the unseen world. Battles that you may not have even known were happening. And because He loves you so much, He will not allow anything to interfere with the great things He has in store for you. Think of it this way. Imagine you are standing at the edge of a cliff ready to step forward. You can't see what's ahead, but God knows. He knows that if you take one more step, you will fall. It's not because you're not capable. It's not because you're not strong. It's because there is danger ahead that you are unaware of. So in His love, He steps in and prevents you from taking that step even though you want to keep moving forward. That person you loved so deeply, they were the cliff in your path. Their presence in your life was a potential fall waiting to happen. Sometimes we can be so blinded by our emotions that we fail to see the spiritual risks we're taking. But God, in His mercy, will remove us from situations that would ultimately harm us. He doesn't want you to fall. He wants you to soar. But in order to soar, He needs to make sure that nothing is holding you back. Nothing that isn't aligned with your divine purpose. And here's the most important thing I want you to understand. The removal of this person was not just about protecting you from them. It was also about protecting you from yourself. As humans, we tend to hold on to things even when they no longer serve us. We hold on to relationships that have run their course, hoping that if we try hard enough, things will change. But God knows that sometimes the best thing we can do is let go. Sometimes the most loving thing God can do is close a door that we're too afraid to walk away from. He knows that if we stay too long in an unaligned relationship, we will begin to lose sight of who we really are. Our true identity can get lost in the roles we play in relationships, in the identities we form based on the people we are connected to. But God wants you to know who you are apart from anyone else. He wants you to know your worth, your purpose, and your calling before anything else. If you had stayed in that relationship, you might have continued compromising your values, your dreams, and your spiritual connection to God. You might have kept ignoring the signs, telling yourself that things would get better. But God knew that the only way for you to fully step into your purpose was to cut that tie. In a way, God's intervention is like pruning a tree. If you've ever seen a gardener prune a tree, you'll notice that they cut away the dead branches to allow new growth. Those branches, even though they look healthy, are hindering the tree's growth. They're taking up space and energy that could be better used for new, fruitful growth. And so the gardener cuts them away, even though it's painful. It's not because the tree is bad, but because the gardener knows that the future of the tree depends on cutting away what no longer serves it. God, like the gardener, is pruning you right now. The removal of your ex was painful, but it was necessary for your growth. Your future depends on this pruning. You can't step into your divine destiny with unnecessary spiritual baggage or toxic relationships weighing you down. And though you may feel abandoned or rejected, remember this: the pruning is a sign of love, not punishment. God is making room for you to grow, to flourish, and to bear fruit in your life. Now I want you to begin to shift your perspective. It's time to start seeing the pain of this breakup as a spiritual blessing. It may not feel like a blessing right now, but in time you'll realize that God was protecting you. He was protecting your purpose. He was protecting your heart, your mind, and your soul. And most importantly, He was protecting your future. It's hard to let go of someone you loved. It's painful to grieve the loss of a relationship that you thought was meant to last. But understand that God's purpose is far greater than any relationship. The relationship you lost might have been a beautiful chapter, but it wasn't the whole story. God has so much more in store for you, more peace, more love, and more joy than you can imagine. So as you process this heartbreak, chosen one, hold on to this truth. God's love for you is greater than any heartbreak. His plan for you is greater than any past relationship. Trust that He is protecting you. Trust that He is leading you towards a future filled with blessings, purpose, and divine alignment. The pain you're feeling today is just the beginning of your healing, and that healing will lead you to something far greater than you could have ever dreamed. Chosen one, as we continue to navigate this journey together, I want you to take a deep breath. I know the road has been painful and difficult, and the weight of heartbreak can sometimes feel unbearable. But I need you to understand that this pain is not the end. It is not the final chapter. It is part of a much greater story that God is unfolding in your life. And even though the journey may feel slow and the progress hard to see you are moving forward, every step you take, even through pain, is leading you to the place where your divine purpose awaits. You may be asking yourself, why did this have to happen? Why did God allow this breakup to take place? I want to answer that for you because God is a master surgeon. He knows exactly what needs to be removed from your life, and He is doing it for your benefit. You might not understand it fully now, but over time you will begin to see that this divine removal was the very thing that saved you. You see, relationships are powerful. They shape our thoughts, our emotions, and our futures. The bonds we form with others have a profound impact on who we become. And while some relationships are meant to bring us joy, healing, and growth, others can have the opposite effect. Sometimes God allows relationships to unfold in a way that will bring us to a point of understanding that certain people, no matter how much we love them, are not meant to walk the entire journey with us. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that not everyone is meant to stay in our lives forever. People come into our lives for a season, and that season has a beginning and an end. We may not see it at the time, but when a season is over, trying to hold on to what's meant to pass will only cause more harm than good. Like a tree that needs to be pruned in order to bear more fruit, sometimes relationships need to be cut off to allow us to grow in ways we couldn't have otherwise. You see, when God removes someone from your life, it's not because He doesn't want you to experience love or connection. It's because He knows the power of relationships and the effect they can have on your life. If that relationship was hindering your growth or distracting you from your divine purpose, God will remove it to protect you from the negative impact it could have on your future. That person may have been a beautiful chapter in your life, but they were not meant to be the one who helps you fulfill your greater purpose. Sometimes we don't realize how deeply a relationship has entangled us. We become emotionally invested, and before we know it, we've intertwined our identity with the other person. We begin to define ourselves through them, through their approval, their presence, and their love. But God, in His infinite wisdom, knows that your true identity is found in Him, not in another person. You are not defined by your relationships. You are defined by God's love and purpose for your life. And it is only when you are free from the bonds of unhealthy relationships that you can truly step into the fullness of who you are called to be. Chosen one, you might not understand it now, but the emotional pain you are feeling is not a sign of failure. It is not a sign that you weren't enough. It is a sign that God is doing something profound in your life. He is cutting away what needs to be removed so that you can grow. It's not easy. It's painful. It feels like a part of you has been torn away. But I promise you, this is part of the healing process. You are being refined, made stronger, and made more aligned with your divine purpose. Consider the example of a surgeon who performs a delicate operation. The surgery may involve cutting, removing, and healing, but it is done with precision and care. The pain you feel in the process is temporary, but the result is something much greater. Without that surgery, the disease or infection would spread, harming you in ways that you can't see right now. And so the surgeon must take the necessary steps, even though it causes pain in the short term, in order to ensure a long-term healing and restoration. In the same way, God, the divine surgeon, is removing what no longer serves you, what could have prevented you from walking fully into your calling. It's painful, yes. It hurts, yes. But it is for your protection, your healing, and your future. The relationship you lost was not a failure. It was a tool that God used to bring you closer to your true self. And when that season ended, it was simply because the time for that chapter was over. You might be tempted to look back, to question, to beg for closure. And while those feelings are natural, I want you to take a moment and reflect on the purpose behind it all. There was something in that relationship that wasn't aligned with God's plan for your life. Perhaps it was an unhealthy pattern. Perhaps it was spiritual baggage, or perhaps it was simply a season that had come to an end. Whatever the reason, God saw the bigger picture, and He acted in your best interest. Now, this doesn't mean that the relationship was completely wrong. You may have shared beautiful moments, and that person may have taught you valuable lessons. But the truth is, chosen one, God has so much more in store for you than what that relationship could have offered. And this is not to say that you won't experience love again. No, God is preparing you for something far greater, something that will align with your true calling and elevate you to new heights. As hard as it may be to see now, the love that God has for you far exceeds any human relationship. His love is perfect, unconditional, and unshakable. And when the time is right, He will bring someone into your life who will support you, uplift you, and walk alongside you as you fulfill your divine purpose. This person will not drain you, confuse you, or lead you astray. Instead, they will help you grow both spiritually and emotionally as you both walk in alignment with God's will. I want you to hold on to this truth. Chosen one, what God has for you is always better than what you have left behind. The removal of this relationship was not a loss, but a gain. It was a step forward, a moment of divine redirection that will lead you to something far greater. In the moment, it may feel like a painful loss, but I promise you that the fullness of God's plan will reveal that it was all part of your greater journey. And so, as you continue to heal, know that God's hand is at work in your life, orchestrating everything for your good. He is closing doors that no longer serve you so that He can open new doors that align with His purpose for you. Trust the process, chosen one. Even when you don't understand it, trust that God is working behind the scenes. Your future is brighter than you can imagine, and what you are experiencing right now is part of the process of preparing you for that future. Let go of the need to understand every detail right now. Allow yourself to heal, to grow, and to trust that God's plan is unfolding perfectly in your life. The relationship you lost was not a mistake, it was part of God's greater design. Trust that He is guiding you towards something greater, and when the time is right, you will see how all the pieces fit together. Chosen one, as we move further into this journey, I want to speak directly to your spirit. It's been a season of deep pain, of heartache and questioning. It's easy to feel as if the end of that relationship marks the end of everything, but I want you to hold on to this truth. It is not the end. It's a pivotal moment in your life, one that is leading you to a greater understanding of who you are and what you are meant to do in this world. At this point, I know you might feel tempted to look back, to wish for things to have gone differently. It's normal to want to rewind time and go back to the moments when you felt safe, loved, and whole in that relationship. But I want you to understand that the person you are becoming is not tied to the past. You are not defined by the love you've given or received from anyone, not even your ex. You are defined by your connection to God, by His love, His calling, and the incredible destiny that is unfolding for you. God, in His infinite wisdom, has a vision for your life that is far greater than anything you can comprehend right now. What you saw in that relationship, what you thought was love, was only a glimpse of the love that God has for you. His love is boundless, unconditional, and pure. His love will never leave you or forsake you. Unlike human relationships, God's love does not fail, it does not fade, and it does not come with conditions. His love is your foundation. It is the truth of who you are, and it is the force that will propel you toward the future He has for you. But I understand the struggle, chosen one. I know the loneliness that creeps in after a breakup, the feeling of being adrift in the world. It feels like the very thing you leaned on is gone, leaving you wondering who you are without it. But let me tell you something powerful. This is your moment to rediscover yourself. This is your time to stand tall, to reclaim your identity, and to be the person God has always intended for you to be. There's an old saying that goes, "You have to lose yourself to find yourself." It might sound a little paradoxical, but in many ways that is exactly what is happening right now. The loss of this relationship has shaken your identity, but this is not a loss without purpose. God is using this experience to strip away the parts of you that were influenced by someone else's presence in your life. He is removing what was never meant to be there so you can stand in the fullness of who He created you to be. You see, the person you were in that relationship may not be the person you are meant to be in your future. God has plans for you that require you to be fully aligned with Him, and that requires a clarity of purpose and identity that is only possible when you are free from anything that has held you back. This process of healing is in fact a process of purification. It's the removal of the distractions, the spiritual baggage, and the emotional wounds that would have hindered you from stepping into the fullness of your destiny. But here's the good news. Chosen one, you are not alone in this process. God is walking with you every step of the way. He has never left you, and He never will. Even in the midst of heartbreak, His presence is there, comforting you, guiding you, and strengthening you. And though you may not understand the details of this season right now, trust that God is working behind the scenes to prepare you for the greater things He has for you. When we go through pain, it often feels as though we are being left alone, but that could not be further from the truth. God is close to the broken-hearted chosen one. The Bible tells us that He draws near to those who are suffering, and He is the healer of every wound. He sees the depths of your heart, the places that no one else can reach, and He is tenderly mending what has been broken. It's easy to think that your worth is tied to the relationships you have or the love you receive from others, but your worth is rooted in something far greater. Your worth is found in God's purpose for your life. You are created for a reason. Your calling is divine, and no relationship, no matter how deep, can take that from you. What God has spoken over your life is unshakable, unchangeable, and eternal. But chosen one, before you can step fully into this future, you must go through a season of healing. You must let go of the hurt and disappointment. You must allow yourself to grieve, to release the pain, and to allow God to do the deep work within you. Healing is not a quick process, it's a journey. It takes time. But with God's help, you will heal. And as you heal, you will be made whole again, stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your divine calling. One of the most powerful things that can happen during a season of healing is the rediscovery of your own strength. Often, when we're in a relationship, we give so much of ourselves to the other person that we lose sight of who we are outside of them. But now, in this season of separation, you have the opportunity to reconnect with the parts of yourself that you may have forgotten. You have the chance to remember the dreams, the passions, and the gifts that are uniquely yours. God is showing you that you are enough just as you are. You don't need another person to define your worth. You don't need anyone's approval to walk in your purpose. You have all that you need inside of you because God has already equipped you for the life you are meant to live. The love you were seeking from your ex is already found in Him. The peace you were craving is already in His presence. As you allow yourself to heal, you'll begin to see yourself differently. You'll start to recognize your own value, your own potential, and your own worth. And this recognition will shift the way you move forward. You'll no longer settle for relationships or situations that drain you. You'll no longer be tempted to compromise who you are for someone else's approval. You'll walk in your power knowing that you are fearfully and wonderfully made by the Creator of the universe. And let me tell you, chosen one, when you truly understand your worth, something incredible happens. You start to attract people who see you the way God sees you. You will no longer attract relationships that are based on insecurity or neediness, but instead you will attract relationships that are rooted in mutual respect, love, and purpose. The people who will enter your life will see the fullness of who you are and will add to your life rather than take away from it. They will walk with you in alignment with God's purpose for you. In this new season, trust that God is preparing you for the right relationships. Relationships that will be aligned with your destiny. This is not the time to rush into another relationship to fill the void left by your ex. No, chosen one, this is your time to heal, to rebuild, and to grow. God is preparing you for a love that will honor you, uplift you, and push you toward the fulfillment of your calling. And as you step into this new season, remember this: your future is greater than anything you have left behind. The heartbreak you're feeling now will eventually give way to a future full of joy, peace, and purpose. You have been chosen for a divine assignment, and God is clearing the path ahead of you so you can walk into it with clarity, strength, and grace. So don't rush the process. Take the time you need to heal. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, preparing your heart and your life for the incredible things that are yet to come. And when the time is right, you will look back on this season and understand that everything you've gone through was for your good. God's plan for you is greater than anything you could have imagined, and He will lead you into a future filled with blessings and purpose. Chosen one, as we continue this journey of understanding, healing, and growing, I want you to focus on something very important: God's timing. In moments of heartache, it's easy to feel as though time is moving too slowly. We want to speed up the healing process, rush past the pain, and get to the part where we feel whole again. But there's a sacred rhythm to everything God does, and your healing process is no different. God's timing is perfect, and His plans for you are unfolding at exactly the right moment, even if you don't see it yet. Right now, you may be wrestling with feelings of impatience. You want to move on. You want to feel better. You want to forget the pain of the past and step into the future. But I need you to understand this healing doesn't work on your schedule. Healing works on God's schedule, and His timing is always better than ours. What you're walking through right now may be hard, but it's necessary. It's part of the preparation for something greater. Let's take a moment to think about the idea of waiting. It's something that many of us struggle with. We live in a world where everything happens at lightning speed. Information is at our fingertips. We can order food and have it delivered within minutes, and even our entertainment is available on demand. Waiting feels like a foreign concept, something that doesn't belong in our fast-paced lives. But in God's kingdom, waiting is a key element in the process of growth. In the Bible, we see time and time again that waiting is part of God's plan for His people. In Psalm 27:14, it says, "Wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord." Waiting in this sense is not about sitting idly by and passively hoping for change. It's about trusting God's process, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's about trusting that He is working on your behalf even when you can't see what He's doing behind the scenes. You may feel like your life is at a standstill right now, as if the loss of your relationship has put everything on hold. You may wonder, why am I not moving forward faster? Why hasn't God sent the right person into my life yet? Why does it feel like everything is happening to everyone but me? These are all valid feelings, but they come from a place of misunderstanding. God's timing. God is never in a hurry. He doesn't rush, and He doesn't move according to our deadlines. His timing is precise and perfect, and He has a reason for everything. The time you're spending in this season of healing is not wasted. You are being prepared for something greater than you can imagine. Just like a tree doesn't grow overnight, neither does your heart, spirit, or purpose. God is using this time to refine you, to strengthen you, and to prepare you for the destiny He has for you. During this waiting period, God is working in ways that you may not understand. It may feel like nothing is changing, but I promise you that things are happening in the spiritual realm that you cannot see with your natural eyes. God is aligning things in your life. Relationships, opportunities, and growth that will be revealed to you at just the right moment. What feels like an empty space right now is actually God creating room for something bigger to come into your life. And while you wait, let me encourage you to focus on becoming the person God has called you to be. Don't waste this time wishing for the past or trying to fast-track your healing. Use this time to focus on your growth. What areas of your life need healing? What parts of your heart need restoration? What dreams have you set aside because of the distractions of the past? Now is the time to focus on yourself, on your relationship with God, on your passions, on your purpose. One of the most beautiful things about waiting on God is that He doesn't waste anything. Every moment you spend in His presence is a moment that is preparing you for the next season of your life. Even the painful moments, the heartbreak, the loss, the confusion are being used by God to shape you into the person you are meant to become. Your pain is not wasted. It is being redeemed and transformed by God's love, and it will ultimately lead you to a place of strength and wisdom that you would never have attained without it. When you stop looking back at the past and start focusing on the future, you will begin to see the beauty of what God is doing in your life. It may not be immediately obvious, but trust me, chosen one, He is at work. Every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've cried, every moment you've spent in His presence is being woven together into something extraordinary. And when the time is right, He will reveal the full extent of His plan for you. I know this might be difficult to hear right now, but the truth is, God is never in a rush. He is a God of perfect timing, and while you may be in a season of waiting, this time is not wasted. He is preparing you for something greater. Consider the story of Joseph in the Bible. Joseph's journey was long and filled with hardship, betrayal by his brothers, slavery, imprisonment, but through it all, God was preparing him for a position of power and influence. At the time, Joseph could not see the purpose in his suffering. He couldn't understand why he was going through the pain. But God was using those moments to shape him, refine him, and prepare him for his destiny. When the time came, God lifted Joseph up and placed him in a position of power where he could fulfill his purpose in a mighty way. Your journey may not be the same as Joseph's, but the principle remains true. God is using your waiting season to prepare you for the future He has for you. The pain you feel today will not last forever. The waiting will not last forever. But during this time, God is refining you, preparing you, and making sure that when the right opportunity, the right relationship, the right blessing comes into your life, you will be ready. And while you're waiting, I encourage you to do one thing: lean into your relationship with God. The more you seek Him during this time, the more you will grow spiritually, emotionally, and mentally. Don't waste your waiting by complaining or wishing things were different. Instead, use this time to grow closer to God, to discover who He has called you to be, and to embrace the healing He wants to bring into your life. God is not distant. He is near. And while He is preparing you for the future, He is also walking with you in this moment every step of the way. He is holding you close, comforting you, and helping you through the process. And when the time is right, He will bring the right people, the right opportunities, and the right blessings into your life. But first, He needs to make sure that you are ready. Ready to receive them, ready to handle them, and ready to walk fully in your purpose. So, chosen one, embrace this season of waiting. Trust that God is working behind the scenes. Trust that He is aligning everything perfectly for your future. And most importantly, trust that His timing is perfect. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, know that God is moving in ways that you cannot see. The future He has for you is brighter than you can imagine, and in due time everything will fall into place. In the meantime, keep your heart open, keep your eyes fixed on Him, and know that this waiting season is not wasted. It is preparing you for something incredible. Chosen one, I want to take a moment to speak to your spirit. You've been through so much, and I know the weight of this season feels heavy. You may be questioning everything, especially your own worth, and wondering if you'll ever find peace again. But I'm here to tell you your journey is far from over, and this moment is not the end. The loss you've experienced, the heartbreak you've endured, is not the final chapter. It's a part of the story that is shaping you for something far greater. Sometimes we go through experiences that shake us to our core, leaving us feeling broken and confused. But these moments are also opportunities for deep transformation. The pain you are feeling now, the emptiness that might be surrounding you, is part of a refining process. God is using this time to strengthen you, to prepare you for the divine purpose He has set before you. You may feel lost in the moment, but I want you to understand this truth. God is never lost. He sees you, He knows you, and He has a plan for you, one that is unfolding even when you can't see it. The pain you are feeling right now is real, but it is not eternal. It is temporary. And as you continue to heal, as you continue to trust God's hand in your life, you will look back on this time and realize that it was not wasted. The beauty of your life is not defined by any single relationship, no matter how important it may have felt at the time. The love you had with your ex was significant, but it was not the love that defines your purpose. You are not here to find validation through someone else's love. You are here to fulfill a purpose that only you can walk out. And as you move forward, you will see that God's love for you far surpasses anything a human relationship could offer. His love is all-encompassing, unchanging, and eternal. He is the one who will never leave you. I want to speak to you about the importance of understanding your own identity in this season. I know that after a breakup, it's easy to feel lost, to question who you are without the other person. But chosen one, your identity is not found in a relationship. It is found in Christ. You are loved, chosen, and deeply valued by God, not because of what you've done or who you've been with, but because of who He has called you to be. The truth is, the more you understand your identity in Christ, the more you can step into the future that God has for you. You are not defined by your past relationships or by the hurt you've experienced. You are defined by the Creator of the universe, the one who knit you together in your mother's womb, who called you by name before you were born. Your worth is not based on what anyone else thinks of you. It is rooted in the fact that you are a child of God, chosen for a purpose. And the more you lean into this truth, the more you will be able to heal. Healing comes from knowing who you truly are. When you understand that you are a child of the Most High God, you no longer need to rely on anyone else to give you validation. You no longer need to question your worth because you know that your value is not based on someone else's love. It is rooted in God's perfect love for you. I understand that this season may be difficult. Healing takes time and it requires intentional effort. But I want to encourage you to take this time to rediscover who you are. Take this time to reconnect with your passions, your dreams, and your calling. The world is waiting for you to show up, and God has placed within you gifts and talents that are meant to bless others. The more you focus on healing and restoring your soul, the more you will begin to recognize the incredible strength that resides within you. One of the most important things you can do in this season is to surrender. It's natural to want to hold on to the past, to cling to what was familiar, but God is calling you to release it. This doesn't mean that the relationship didn't matter or that you shouldn't grieve. It simply means that you are choosing to trust God with your future. You are letting go of the weight of the past so that you can walk into the freedom that He has for you. Surrender is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of strength. It is the willingness to let go of your own plans and to trust that God's plan is better. When you surrender, you are making space for God to move in your life in ways you never imagined. You are choosing to trust His timing, His wisdom, and His perfect love. You are saying, God, I trust you even when I don't understand. I trust that you are guiding me towards something better. You might be wondering, what does the future hold for me? Will I ever experience love again? Will I ever be happy? And while I cannot answer all those questions, I want to assure you of this: God's plans for you are good. He has a future for you that is filled with purpose, joy, and fulfillment. The love you long for is coming, but first, God is preparing you to receive it. The lessons you're learning now, the healing you're experiencing, are preparing you for a future that is far greater than anything you could have imagined on your own. And when the time is right, God will bring the right people into your life. He will bring relationships that are aligned with your divine purpose. Relationships that will encourage you to grow, challenge you to be better, and help you fulfill your calling. These relationships will not drain you. They will uplift you. They will not pull you away from your destiny. They will push you further into it. And when you are ready, God will bring someone into your life who will love you the way you were always meant to be loved, whole, complete, and secure in who you are. But in the meantime, it's important to focus on your own growth. This is your season to heal, to discover your purpose, and to grow closer to God. Don't rush this process. Trust that everything you need is being provided for you in this moment. God has not abandoned you. He is with you every step of the way, guiding you, comforting you, and leading you toward the future He has planned for you. Remember, chosen one, the journey you are on is not about the relationships you've lost. It's about the purpose you are meant to fulfill. Your value is not defined by the past, but by the future that God is preparing for you. You are stronger than you realize. You are more capable than you know, and most importantly, you are loved by a God who will never leave you. You are His, and He has a purpose for your life that is greater than anything you've experienced so far. Trust the process, trust His timing, and trust that everything you've been through is leading you to something greater. Your heart will heal, chosen one. You will move forward stronger than before, and you will fulfill your divine purpose. The best is yet to come. Chosen one. I want to take this moment to remind you of something crucial. Healing is not a destination, but a journey. It's something you move through day by day, step by step. I understand that right now it feels as though the pain of your heartbreak will never fully fade, that you may never be able to move past this loss. But I want to assure you, healing is happening even if you cannot see it immediately. God is at work in your life in ways that you cannot yet comprehend, and every single step you take is a step toward wholeness. The process of healing is often a slow and sometimes painful journey. There may be days when it feels as though the weight of the world is pressing down on you, when you feel like you're taking 2 steps forward and then 3 steps back. You might question whether you'll ever feel whole again, whether you'll ever experience the kind of love you desire, or whether you'll ever see the light at the end of this tunnel. But I want to tell you this: God is with you in the waiting. He is with you in the pain, in the confusion, and in the darkness. And He is using this time to refine you, to make you stronger, and to prepare you for the life He has in store for you. One of the hardest parts of healing is learning to embrace the discomfort. We live in a world that often prioritizes instant gratification, where we want our healing to happen quickly, and we want the pain to stop immediately. But in God's kingdom, healing doesn't work on our timeline, it works on His. Sometimes the greatest healing comes from walking through the fire, from allowing the pain to reveal what's hidden in our hearts, and from trusting that God will use it for our good. And as you walk through this process, I encourage you to remember this: you are not walking alone. God is walking with you, carrying you through each moment, each day, each tear. He has not abandoned you. and He will never leave you. You may not see His hand at work right now, but it is moving in ways that will become evident to you as you continue to heal. In this process of healing, it's important to release any sense of guilt or shame you may be carrying. Many times we carry shame after a breakup because we think we did something wrong, or we blame ourselves for the end of the relationship. We think if I had done things differently, maybe they wouldn't have left. If I had loved them better, things might have worked out. But chosen one, hear me clearly. It is not your fault. The end of a relationship is not a reflection of your worth, nor is it an indication that you were not good enough. It simply means that that chapter of your life has come to an end. God has removed something from your life that was not aligned with His plan for you, and while the pain is real, it does not define you. Release the guilt, release the shame, allow yourself the space to heal without condemnation. When God removes something from our lives, it's not meant to leave us feeling worthless or unlovable. It's meant to create room for the greater things He has for us. You are precious in His sight. You are loved and you are worthy of every blessing that is coming your way. Don't let the pain of your past relationships hold you back from stepping into the fullness of what God has for you. During this time of healing, you may find that some relationships from your past no longer serve you. You may find that certain friendships, connections, or habits no longer align with who you are becoming. This is a normal part of the healing process. As you heal, God will start to show you who and what is truly aligned with your purpose, and He will gently lead you to release what no longer serves you. This may be difficult at first, but trust that God is making room for something better, something more in line with the person you are becoming. Let go of the need to cling to the past. The past is gone. The relationships, the mistakes, the hurt, they have served their purpose, and now they are part of your story. But your story is not over. Your future is bright, and God has so much more in store for you than what you left behind. Trust Him to lead you to what is next. I understand that in moments of heartbreak, it can be difficult to trust that there is something better ahead. It's hard to see beyond the pain, beyond the loss, and believe that God has a greater plan for you. But I promise you, chosen one, that God's plan for you is so much greater than anything you have experienced so far. Your future is full of love, joy, and purpose, but in order to fully step into it, you must allow yourself to heal, to let go of the past, and to embrace the process of becoming who God has called you to be. One thing that can help you during this healing process is spending time in prayer and reflection. Let this be a season of deep connection with God. Pour out your heart to Him. Express your pain, your confusion, your sorrow. Allow Him to comfort you. And as you do, listen for His voice. He will speak to you in ways that will bring you peace, clarity, and direction. He will guide you through this journey and give you the strength you need to keep moving forward. God is faithful, and He will never leave you alone. Another key part of healing is forgiveness. This may be one of the hardest things for you to do right now. But I want you to know that forgiveness is not about excusing the other person's behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the burden of carrying the hurt and the pain. Forgiveness allows you to let go of the anger, resentment, and bitterness that can hold you back from experiencing true healing. It opens your heart to the peace that God wants to give you. Forgiving someone, especially after a breakup, does not mean that what they did was okay. It simply means that you are choosing to release them from your heart. You are choosing to no longer let their actions control your emotions or your life. This doesn't happen overnight, and it's okay if you're not there yet. But take small steps toward forgiveness, even if it means praying for the strength to forgive. God will honor your willingness to forgive, and He will begin to heal the wounds in your heart. Chosen one, as you move through this process, I want you to remember one thing: God is doing something beautiful in your life right now. The pain you're experiencing is not the end. It is the beginning of a new season. And when you look back, you will see that this was all part of God's perfect plan for you. His plans for you are full of hope and a future that is brighter than anything you can imagine. There is something powerful waiting for you on the other side of this healing process. As you let go of the past, you will step into a future that is filled with the love, peace and joy that you've been longing for. God has been preparing you for something far greater than what you could have ever dreamed, and that is where your focus should be now. The best is yet to come, chosen one, and I can't wait for you to see what God has prepared for you.